buried 6 feet under the hair of mother. My face split into 3. One was covered in toilet roll, his paws all spiky, colored like a puss-filled foot. He was short, and his behind had sealed itself to the floor flesh. He had no arms, yet he was in a constant state of whacking, hard, pulsing like a street freak. Oh, he was so young, waterboarded by those incredible tasting sperms. I was somewhere in the middle. We'd sucked each other's wieners for 17 years straight, to the point where my mouth sealed and we became one fleshy thing. God saw me, so I felt disgusting. So I left that mouth-body skin-sealed fellatio prison, and I fled my trousers. All I saw at that point was a tree devoid of all leaves. That fleshy street freak had sown his own non-existence. What a fool we were. I can see him, but I can't seem to stop him. So now I just rest somewhere behind it all. The carpets seem to dance in a lethargic eye-raping kaleidoscope. It all made me feel very sick and confused. What was all this color for? Just as it got overwhelming, I noticed a white hand emerging. It had always been there and showed me there was hope in the silence and in the obedient rest. So I laid down and took in my surroundings. It was then I noticed who it was hypnotizing us both. It was the chicken man on the screen, Abraxas, the jelly-eyed fool. We weren't on Earth anymore. We were on his disabled TV show, and it was just one long advertisement made out of wireless smoke. Animated voids. That was what the carpet was laughing about, dancing with all that red bliss in blue Hawaii. The cock-sucking boy was Elvis Presley, shoulder known, and we were made to believe that our lives were made to fill up an all-consuming big pig machine elf suicide puppet show. The white hand, however, had other plans for me. It had begun to grow egg eyes, the ones that could see into the infinite window, the layer of the white. It was then I made the most beautiful realization. I was a white man. Perhaps even multiple white men, standing behind street freaks, slowly sealing their fate out of white love. That was it. That was my team. The good guys. The women were also there, standing on their heads and filling us with the yummiest ether. I half left my middle body, and when I did I realized that it too had a tree sprouting from its brain next to the golden hair and spewing semen which was free and not choked by the virus black ones. Semen which was free and flowed from the something in the nothing mirror which sat upon the green. This was my second mind. It helped me realize that the street freak's volcano toy only erupted unreal plastic plants, and that whole scam was some dreadful and horrific shadow puppet scam, wearing the veil of color and filling my cigarettes with nothing twigs cut off from the real tree. And it was then I noticed the real tree and the water of love, and I knew then that love had saved me. Oh, God had been such a good friend to me, so much so that I could no longer speak. Me and all the white women turned into birds and flew away in glorious ecstasy, For that moment, which felt like forever, life was free, and my third face appeared from the clouds and spoke to all of us. The one who'd laid our eggs on God's behalf, dripping with the water of love. His face was made out of wood, just like the sky we flew on. He spoke through Christ and told us of the tree, the one real tree, the tree from which our shadow faces had stolen fruit from and suffocated. He told us of the eternal covenant of grace extended to us, and of the rope which had already ended the fireless chicken-headed masturbatory interlude and had painted it all in the thickest white heavens of the loudest silence, of perfect choirs, unending bliss, this time for real, and where all are saved. It was then my head began quivering uncontrollably, and my wings caught fire, and I fell back into my room. All three bodies laid out and drained in preparation, ether condensed into the soul of truth, soul condensed into the mind of seeking, mind condensed into the body of senses. It was then I knew the nuke was coming, and that my first death was over, and that the CIA's top archon architects could not build a prison big enough for all of us. The scene was frozen beauty, and the nonsense now made sense. Death of a hippie, eternal birth of the new life.